Bounce TV, WCWG Channel 20.4. I'm your host, Brian B., and it gives me my great honor, great pleasure to introduce this lady to my right.
Yay!
Miss Tracy Twinkie Byrd. How are you?
I'm awesome.
So first things first, Tracy Twinkie Byrd. How did you get that name Twinkie? I was thinking, was it from childhood or?
Well, let's go with that.
Yeah, or is it your alter ego like a Sasha Fierce?
We should go with your first thought.
Childhood?
Sure.
Can you explain a little bit?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Tracy Twinkie Byrd. It does have a little ring to it.
It does have a little ring to it, and no one ever forgets it, which is really great. So I'm, memorable, and that's one of the important things about being in this industry, is being memorable.
You strike me as a very confident individual, and I hear that you have a very dominant personality as well.
You hear that?
I hear that.
Who says
I did my
these
research.
things?
I did a little research online.
No, dominant personality. No, I don't feel like a dominant personality. I just feel like I have personality.
Right. So, with that being said,
yes.
I would think in your childhood you would always know that you wanted to be a casting director, but through my research once again,
I love it when people research.
I hear that it was actually a baby that inspired you to get into casting. You like that, don't you?
Oh my goodness! In advertising, we did a lot of commercials,
right?
And it was a Pamper baby, a baby auditioning for Pampers commercial. And one of the babies, I had a lot of trinkets and toys on my desk and things from tons of commercials, and one of the babies came over and she wanted to see the trinkets and the toys, and then she got up in my lap and wouldn't get down, and I let her play with my keyboard, and my mother kept calling and they were like, next, and they're ready for the next baby, and she didn't want to get down, and she came over to get her and just started crying, and I said, well, I'll take her in.
Right. And
then I go into the room. I finally get to find out, what's going on behind the door, kind of like the Wizard of Oz, what's going on behind the curtain. And I get in the room with the baby, and they asked me, was I the baby wrangler? And I said, how much do they make? And they told me, and I said, yes, absolutely, I am the baby wrangler.
Your resume is quite impressive. It's crazy. Stomp the Yard, Jump in a Broom. You have Black Nativity is going to be coming out.
Yes.
The Blind Side. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on.
It seems like it.
What I found most interesting about you is that you always work with new and fresh faces.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask you, how do you determine who you actually want to work with, and what is it that you see in them that they necessarily don't really see in themselves as of yet?
It's a feeling. And it's watching it in terms of the performance. Like, you can tell when there is a truth in the performance. I can tell when there is a truth in the performance and they're tapping in on something that really, it captures me so much that sometimes they're at the end of the sides or the scene or the page, and they just keep acting because I didn't say scene yet.
I hear a lot of producers and casting directors tell you, like, where in the world did you find this person? How did you so it really shows that you take time in pursuing new faces, and
it's a lot of time.
Not necessarily that other casting directors wouldn't, but they have their standard. They have their Denzels. They have, their Makai Pfeiffers.
Awesome.
Just people that they're their go-to. They know that they're going to deliver. So for you to do that, really says a lot about yourself.
It's a scary thing.
You make them feel comfortable though. So I guess they do have to be ready for the big stage and the big lights. They do. Well, but that's cool.
It's important to take your steps. Can you imagine when you're just rushed into a lead role, how challenging that is, and how much it is that you don't know? I mean, I did that with Jamal Willard, who played Biggie.
Okay, yep.
That was a lot. That was a lot of responsibility. That's a lot of responsibility for yourself, a lot of responsibility to the production, a lot of responsibility to Brooklyn.
And he pulled it off.
He did. He did pull it off, and it. Sometimes, that person is just made for that role, and you see it, and you're just like, that was the person for the role.
What about what is it, Quentin and The Blind Side? He pulled it off as well.
When I read the script for The Blind Side, Michael Orr's story, I was like, okay, the guy that came in that time, I'm gonna call him back in for this. Sure enough,
He's a big guy, right? 6'8",
Yes.
like 200 something pounds.
Oh no, he's more than 200.
More than 200?
Pounds. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, he's huge. He's like a mountain.
Oh man. So
he's great though. He's a sweet guy.
5'7", 165. But let's talk about musicians turned actors, because I know you work with Jordan Sparks and Sparkle as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you see in them? Because you know it's a lot of them that can perform, but maybe the performance doesn't really transform into, you know, a movie performance per se.
The awesome thing about Sparkle is that it was a musical.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it has musical elements in the film, so being able to cast actresses who can sing was important as well. And she worked really, really hard on her acting. She also attended a performing arts school, and a lot of young recording artists or people who, you know, sing, dance, and act, triple threats, they attend performing arts schools, so they get a little bit of everything. They get some theater, they get, you know, some acting appreciation, drama classes, you know, music, art, and it all comes together. So they're not completely void of understanding or knowing the art form.
What type of films do you really love casting for? Like, this is it.
Gosh, I love so many films. I love my film. I love Fruitvale Station because of the humanity in the relationships,
right,
and how it made you just sit back and, you know, ponder, if you will. Sit back and realize that when you come from that type of film, how much you judge people and how much it is that you don't know, and how much you look at people for face value, and how much you don't know what's going on inside, what they're dealing with at home, where their home actually is. You know, there's so much we don't know about people.
Right.
And it was a beautiful thing to see. Beautiful thing to see a young black man loving his child so much. You don't realize how void the father is from the family subliminally. Mm-hmm. I was watching a commercial the other day, and it's I love this commercial, and it just struck me. It's a little boy, and he doesn't want to eat breakfast, and he's saying, "Can't touch this, can't touch that." Mm-hmm. Mother, daughter, son. Where's the dad? And it's subliminal. It's subliminal. You erase the father, you erase the family.
You guys did a great job, and with the relationships, it just seemed like it was somebody that I knew. Like, oh, that's my cousin. That's Ray across the street.
Right,
you know, so you guys did a wonderful job on that.
Oh,
so
that's Michael B.
Congratulations.
Michael B. Jordan did an awesome job bringing that character to life, and I'm thankful for it, because hopefully for all the people who got to witness it on film, they'll never see a young African American man the same way.
Now I wanted to ask too, what was the significance of the dog that actually got hit by the car in the middle of the street? I didn't really understand that part.
Ask a dog lover what that is, because there are people out there that would save a dog before they'd save a human being.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to bring the two things into one space in order to capture the heart and the mind of the person watching, and then bring them over to where you need them to be.
Right.
Okay, so you need to watch this young man save a dog, and as much as you love a dog, then you see the humanity in him saving this dog, like you would do. Mm-hmm. People of America. So that makes him like you. Now, if it makes him like me, then I'm sitting there and this injustice is happening to me. It changes me.
Right.
But if you're on the outside of it, because, well, maybe he doesn't look like me, then how do you get them to feel the same way as the people who it does look like? Bring in another element that you love and bring the two of you together as one. You love animals, he loves animals, you're similar, you have that thing in common. Now, you are him and he is you.
Right. Wow.
Significance of the dog.
That's big. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I get it. We're all the same, you know
Yes.
what I'm saying, when it boils down to it. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes people need to see that.
Right. Well, Ms. Byrd, I thank you so much. One of your keys to success, you say, is you never look at a project as too big or too small. So in this case, this interview would be, I guess, a project in itself. And I'm not Oprah, Terrence J, or Ryan Seacrest yet, but I will be, because I'm believing it. I'm believing you believing with me. And we wish you much success in the future. And it's Bounce TV, WCWG, Tracy B, and we're out.